Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world and you are joining us, you are very, very welcome. I'm looking forward to an hour in the company of Anil Barwani. There would be so many words we could use to describe him. To me, he's an inspiration and a genius. So my name is Helen Dimmick. I'm an independent jewellery consultant in the United Kingdom, but this year I had the real honour and pleasure to meet Anil. So Anil, for those of you that don't know you, please, will you just give us an introduction to you?
Welcome everybody. Love you guys. Thank you for being on Jewelry Outlook. And yeah, I'm Anil Barwani, and I'll take you through my journey. And Helen is here to help me.
Yeah. Well, let's make a start, because as we said, we could talk for hours and hours. So we're going to go through, we're going to talk about a few aspects of your life. And as you can all see, everybody, there is the option to ask some questions. So if you can see at the bottom, the Q&A, please post your questions throughout. I'll have the opportunity at the end to go through some of those. And then also a lovely colleague of Anil will answer some questions and some queries as well. But we're going to explore a lot of things this afternoon. But let's start at the beginning. Anil, can you maybe just tell me about your family background, a little bit about your heritage and who you are? And I think you've got some sort of notes and some slides to show us, because it's an amazing.
Yeah, I have a slide to show.
Yeah. Will you share those with us?
Okay, so I am not from a jewelry background. I used to teach English as a foreign language before I became a jewelry designer. And before teaching English as a foreign language, I was into construction. And before being into construction, I come from a family of landlords. And going back 9 generations, I have a family book. You can see this is my family book. This has been written in my language, in Sindhi, and it means Ratan Jot. It says Ratan Jot. And Ratan Jot means, Ratan means gem, and Jot means light. And this book has been written in 1958. And I'm born in 1968. And little did I know that the name of this book I would be a part, this legacy, this gem legacy. This is what I would take on.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? The ray of light, and then the next chapter in the book is your life at the moment. So, how have your family influenced who you are today?
I'll take you through. Can I take you through the story?
I'll take you through the story.
So I'm from Pakistan. I'm from Hyderabad. I'm born in Hyderabad, Sindh, and I migrated to India in 1990. And this is a little slideshow on.
It's wonderful to see. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have. So as you can see, sorry, yeah, this is my family book, which I showed you. My family book, and that's Ratan Jot, which means the light of the gem. And here you have my grandfather. My grandfather was a member of parliament till 1954. He was a member of parliament in India. And this picture has been taken in April 1947, before partition. And since we are from Sindh, and Sindh happened to come in Pakistan, he opted to stay back in Pakistan to help the people of our religion there, and to help them there. And he stayed back, and he was a member till 1954. And here you see him. That's Sukhdev Udhavdas. That's my grandfather, with Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. This next slide is also of one of my great granduncles, Seth Harchandrai Vishandas. He was apparently the first mayor of Karachi, and he's also called as the mayor, the father of modern Karachi. And if you Google him, you'll find all his stories. And he was the oldest member to vote against the Simon Commission. And he died on way, and there were 2 days or 3 days of mourning in India in his honor.
Wow.
And, yeah, that's him. That's the Seth Harchandrai Vishandas with the Marylebone cricket team in the Karachi Hindu Gymkhana. You can see probably some recognizable faces there.
Yeah.
And that's again my great grandfather. He was a member of parliament too. And this is the Indian Legislative Assembly, 1928.
Incredible.
And in this picture, you see Seth Harchandra Vishnudas with Mahatma Gandhi on a tour of the city of Karachi, honoring Mahatma Gandhi. And this too is in 1912, this picture. That's Barrister Harchandra Bharwani with Mahatma Gandhi. So we come from a family of landlords, long story. There are stories within stories. I can have one session only on my legacy, on the stories of my...
Yeah. But I think that's so much diversity. Does that help you in your creative process? Because you describe your style as very fluid, don't you? How does that influence your work?
I can show it to you, and then
please do. Yes, absolutely. Please do.
You can discover it for yourself.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of things, but I have only I'm only showing birds and peacocks. I've done a Bird of India collection. I've studied 30 birds of India, and I've made a collection on them. And peacocks, I'm known for. I've made ostentatious pieces, one-of-a-kind pieces, loud pieces, wow pieces, statement pieces, collectibles, and also peacocks, which everyone can buy and everyone can wear from my Pret collection.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I will show you one piece. It's right here. I have it with me.
Yeah.
And
I got to wear this piece when I came to see you. It is just, the movement in it is just incredible.
Yeah. This is with a 176 carat pink tourmaline. And this piece, the beautiful part about this bracelet is that there was no sketching, there was no doodling, there was no design which went into the making of this piece. It was just verbal. I took this huge rock, I put it on my wrist, and I also work like peacocks. So I have designed peacocks. If you notice, I'm showing you, I have these hundreds of peacocks in all different shapes and sizes, which I have developed. And I keep changing with the stone. I started just doing permutations and combinations. And there's
So for those people that want to learn to be a designer, can you talk me through your particular process from your thought into the final piece? Can you take us through that journey?
There's not one way I design. There are plenty of different ways. And my artisans who are right now, the way we converse, it's verbal, and they are always on a high. And just by describing the pieces, and what I also is, which I take credit, and my artisans take credit to, is that they also have been given the freedom to breathe, the freedom to experiment. They are not constrained by weight. They are not constrained by the weight of the gold, weight of the diamond, the flow, the shape. They are free. So I learned from them. So like this piece was extremely challenging. If you notice, each and every feather is different. No two feathers are the same. All feathers are different. And when we started designing this piece, there were gaps all over. We closed the gaps. This feather was jutting out. We brought it in. Even little things like the opening mechanism. Everything is concealed. You can't even see it. At times, in most of my pieces, you can't see the box and the clip.
No, that's
and
good.
That just to find that is extremely interesting. And and everybody has a good laugh because at times they can't find how to open the piece. And that clip is not jutting out. It's not a sore to your eyes.
But then a sign of a good piece of jewel or a good art is you look on the back of it and it should be just as beautiful on the inside or on the behind.
So this piece also, I have used hot fired enamel. They are shaded sapphires, diamonds, baguettes. If you notice there's a curve over here. So initially when we were designing this piece, this curve wasn't there and we were challenged because the piece was sitting flat. It's a huge stone. And for the size of your wrist, we needed it to curve according to your wrist. And then we found a design. We just put this design element and we have, even on the insides, if you notice, we have used Plicojour enamel.
Beautiful.
And we've used grids over here. So it brings the weight of the gold down. It's colorful, it's different, and it's also kinetic. It's with moving parts.
You talk about movement. Movement features a lot in your pieces. Why is movement so important to you?
Not only movement, even the third dimension. So I have a small story to share, which again I learned from one of my artisans. So I went, this is some 30 years ago, and I went to his workshop and he asked me, Anil, why do you make money? So I said, I'm making money because for my stomach. So he said, even your piece of jewelry should have a stomach. It shouldn't be flat. And from there on, each and every piece of mine is three-dimensional.
Yeah.
And most of my pieces, I do, not all of my pieces are with moving parts or flowing, or like this is with a flowing tassel. Yeah. And the beauty of this piece is the tassel has been entwined around the feathers. So it's movement, and it is also constrained to this segment. It's not, the tassels are not running everywhere. And once you're wearing it, this just becomes a cynosure. I mean, it's.
So you're thinking about as well how the piece is going to be worn by whoever and where and how they're holding that piece and how it will also move with them.
Yeah, and it should be comfortable. It should be technically perfect.
Yeah.
It should hurt. Yeah.
Yes, no, that's a good point. Yeah. So I think that we talked about the peacocks, we talked about the birds, and I know you've talked about all these inspirations. If you don't mind, I'm just going to share a little video, which it talks about some of the. So let's just put this on. Just bear with me. This is wonderful to show. Brilliant. Talk to us about that, all of those pieces and all of those inspirations. What's behind it?
So this, I happened to stumble upon this fair called the Surajkund Mela. And apparently it's one of the biggest handicrafts fair in India. And not many people have heard about this. And I went to this fair, and each and every booth, nearly each and every booth, I discovered something, and I discovered a peacock, every booth. I'll show you a few pieces here.
Please do,
yeah. I found this, you see, this is, this opens up. This is made of leather. This art is called charm shilp. Charm means leather, shilp means art. And here you are. So while designing, I can take any form. And I also say that it is not necessary to draw or to scratch or to know how to doodle to become a designer. You can design jewelry without drawing. You just need inspiration. Let's say something like this. You just, here you are. I can make a beautiful necklace out of this. Of course, the size, I can use amazing emeralds and tanzanites and sapphires and lovely piece. And if you, let's say a piece like, this was a pair of door, outside the door. You have to just put them on the wall. And this is more than 80 years old. So this I found in the flea market of Jodhpur, and Jodhpur is actually like Ali Baba's cave. So I can make a neck piece out of this. The inspiration is right here. I don't have to go anywhere. And just fill in this with colors. A lovely pair of earrings. What about how if I make a bracelet like this? You think this would be over the top?
I would wear it.
I think it will be beautiful.
Yeah.
One of a kind.
Yeah, absolutely.
So inspiration is right here. I just need, and I need all my travels. The Surajkud Mela taught me a lot.
Yes. So keeping your eyes open, your mind open, your ears open, and listening really to the world around you. I mean, talking of the world around you, you're talking to us from your home, and you have a wallpaper that is inspired by the peacock. Can you tell us all about this?
Yeah, so this wallpaper has nothing to do with the peacocks. I got this wallpaper some 7 years ago. It's still there. And I happened to be in this small city. I was backpacking Rajasthan. I wasn't on I was hitchhiking. I went on a truck, on a bus, on Thela, Tanga, on a camel cart from one city to another city. I landed up in a city called Churu. And in Churu, you have these artisans who make these wooden peacocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this art is more than 600 years old. A part of this family, so I know these people personally. I've stayed with them. I've eaten with them. I've laughed with them. They have connected me to other people. So this is from Churu in Rajasthan. A part of this family moved to a city called Kondapalli, which is in Andhra Pradesh. It is about 3.5 hours from Hyderabad, 1.5 hours from Vijayawada. And this is what they made there. So these two places are connected in Rajasthan and Kondapalli. Same origin, going back 500, 600 years old. And I have traveled to these cities, and it was a challenge to reach places like this and meet these people. Especially living in this digital age, how these people are surviving.
Yes.
How these people, but the artisans, and so inspiration comes from here. If I want to make a pendant, a bracelet, a pair of earrings, like even the feathers, a lot of ideas for feathers have come from these artifacts.
Yes.
So I have made more than 300 different types of peacock feathers.
That's fantastic. Yeah. And I want to thank you personally for redefining the meaning of a peacock. In Western cultures, it often has different associations because of the eyes, or the fear if you bring a peacock feather into the house because you've taken it away from nature, it would bring bad luck. But you really introduced me to the beauty of the national bird of India with its representations of the pride and the beauty and the grace. So do you have another peacock piece there?
So there is a lot of mythology behind peacock also. Our Lord Krishna has used to wear a crown.
Ah, yes.
A peacock crown.
Yes.
And this is a fan, and this has been made of peacock feathers. And this fan I found on the streets of Jaipur, in the Zaveri Bazaar of Jaipur. And I bought this for 100 rupees. This is nearly $1.5.
Yeah.
And,
but you see beauty in it.
And I use this. I use this as a ring. The same thing. I made it a smaller version with these feathers all around, a peacock in the center, and it was with a revolving, a rotating movement. I don't have that ring. That ring has been acquired by a collector. Yeah.
So take me through the journey of translating something like that into a piece of jewelry. What sort of gemstones would you use, and how would you use those gemstones?
I am a gemstone collector too. I have a 15, 20-year-old gemstone collection. Whatever stone I like, because to even acquire something like this, if you go and demand, it's not available.
Yeah.
And you have to have it in stock, because if I say I want 176 carat pink tourmaline, I'll be surprised if somebody can offer you this color, this shape, this cabochon, this height, and this how clean the piece is.
Yeah. And do you have that lovely piece of the bird with the opal wings? Can you share that with us? I'm dancing now because when I wore it, it made me want to dance. It was very, very beautiful.
Yeah, I'll just show it to you.
Yes, this is the one. Again, talk us through this piece. Oh, it's here. Lovely.
So again, these stones are from my collection. Both of them are Australian opal doublets.
Yeah.
And when I started making this piece, opal is this is a very soft stone, a brittle stone. So this design that you see, again, this wasn't sketched or doodled. This design came just to make the stone safe and secure and sellable at the same time, because I need to sell this piece of jewelry. Every piece of jewelry has to have a commercial end.
Yeah.
So I wanted to secure the stone, and that's how I overlap, because once you're wearing this is also with movement. You can see the wings move. So if the wings hit a table or a sharp edge, the stone shouldn't get damaged. That's why the casing on the front came. And talking of material, at the time, at this moment, I'm working only with gold. But can you imagine if this same ring is made in green titanium or in blue titanium or in aluminum? It would be another different thing totally.
Absolutely.
And these are the materials which I am experimenting right now, which I've been experimenting for quite a while. And in the time to come, you'll be seeing a lot of pieces using these quaint materials.
And Neil, somebody is asking, and I think it's very pertinent to bring this up, how do you achieve movement? And, can you tell us technically how you achieve that? Because the piece looks so beautiful and it's all hidden, but how does that articulation work?
Some of these pieces, like this piece, I will not take credit for, like this movement. This has been, and I've been honest over there, this was done by Mr. Glenn Spiro, and he did it with butterflies.
Right, yes.
Yeah. And what I've done, I've used a peacock. So in the same way, if you notice, inspiration can come from everywhere. Like I was told, if you notice the lotus ring, if you open it and it opens up and there's a diamond in the center or a stone in the center. So I have this is something that I found, it goes back in history. This is about a good 150, 200 years old. This is a candle stand sitting on a tortoise. Tortoise is supposed to be carrying Mother Earth. And if you open the candle stand, it's a lotus. And the lotus opens up. And here you are.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
So everything is, I don't take credit, because according to me, everything has been designed, is how I redesign the circle or fill in that circle.
Yeah.
So that's,
we've talked about this, haven't we? I think everything in jewelry and art is a revolution and an evolution, and you push things over and you take it on the journey of webbing and ebbing and flowing with it. So, but I think you have an important place in that journey. So it's lovely to see.
Yeah, and traveling helps me a lot in discovering these things. Like I'm showing you something. This is the French did it about 200 years ago, and this is something en tremblant. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And you have a toy. Now something like this is an inspiration for me. All I need to do is make something like this for my piece. I have, about 10 years ago, I made a collection of flowers, en tremblant flowers, but never a peacock. I think I will do peacock soon.
Yeah, but let's think about this, the technical side of it, because there's en tremblant, as you say, often held on wires, and I think you use magnets. Is that right? For those people that are designers out there, I know they'll be really keen to understand the technicalities of how you achieve.
You have to experiment. Let's say the magnet piece. I'll show you the magnet piece. This took me quite a while, but it is not difficult. It's not rocket science. You just need the right material, and you just need to keep improvising till you get the right.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. So this, I have a whole collection in this. I just have one left at the moment. I started with something extremely simple. It was not as ornate as this. So this ring, it's it's loud, it's big, it's like a bomb.
Yeah.
It's extremely comfortable to wear. Your fingers shut. Your fingers don't stand open like this. They shut comfortably. And here you are.
Yeah. And can you show us how the birds move? Oh, lovely. Yeah.
While you're wearing them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting that you obviously embrace a lot of nuts.
This is something, magnets is something that we have used in toys also. So I go in hunt of a lot of toys. Toys from my childhood. They have a lot of inspiration. Let's say this I haven't designed. This is yet to be designed. This is a toy from, I'm not sure whether you've seen something like this in England.
Yeah, we have, not quite the same. Yeah.
So this is a weight which takes the peacocks. And if you notice the peacocks, so how would a ring look like if I make a ring like this? Do you think it would be possible?
I think that'd be fabulous.
No, so that is going to be a challenge. So all those who are watching this thing, please let me know, how do I put a weight below my finger, and if I turn it, How do the peacocks move?
With the centrifugal force.
Yeah.
So this is great. So this is your creative thinking at the moment.
Yeah,
so, you know, how are you using this time of lockdown? What are your thought processes at the moment? How has that inspired you?
I am just taking it easy, taking it slow. I'm cooking at the moment. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm spreading happiness. I am only writing about food. I'm making my friends, I mean, if some of them are here, hello, I hope you have, they read my article. I write an article every morning. And some of them actually have thanked me, Anil, thank you for writing such lovely, positive.
Yeah. So, I mean, like you say, your love of art and beauty and of life isn't just in jewelry, it is also cooking as well. So what are the creative synergies between the two?
Cooking is exactly like jewelry or vice versa.
Yeah.
So even in jewelry, like how you, even with food, you have to use, there's lots of color. There's a sense of smell. We Indians love to eat with our hands.
Yes.
You wear your jewelry with your hands.
Yeah.
And there should be texture, there should be color, there should be layering, there should be the third dimension.
Yes.
All your five senses should be involved.
And there's love. Love as well. We fall in love with each other through cooking, and we express our love through jewelry.
And not only that, I have designed my own house also. And I have designed it sustainably. Most of the things in the house are either recycled or upcycled.
Right.
I have used rocks from the street. I've just picked up rocks and I've designed something out of it. And beautifully it's turned out. So probably we need to do a session on...
So how do you use that process when you're thinking about gemstones? Do you look at sustainability in origin?
Yeah, it is necessary.
And where do you source your gemstones from?
I, again, don't travel a lot. I have very few sources. I've been dealing with them. They're old sources. I've been dealing with them since I've started. And everything that is, they know my taste, what I want.
Yes.
And anything that is manufactured, what they know I would like, it comes on my table.
Yes.
And also, I think I don't bargain, which people might think is not the right thing. I don't bargain. I let the other person earn. So what he also does is he doesn't overcharge me, because if he does, he's going to earn only once. If he fleeces me or if he overcharges me, because I need to sell it further. And I have seen in my 30-year journey that I've always come out winning.
Yeah.
At times, my vendors have given me a packet of emeralds and they've said, Anil bhai, please keep this for 6 months. Don't open after 6 months. Please enjoy. So usually before Diwali, they give you a packet for good luck. And they say, this is good luck for you for the next year. And it has always been, I've been successful there.
So you're mindful of the circle, the supply chain, and ensuring that the right ethics are conducted throughout.
And little things I've learned the hard way. Like when I started business, nobody knew me. Even now, very few people know me. Nobody knew me then.
They will now. Everybody will know you now, Anil. They really will.
I used to go from door to door, from office to office, and at times to other cities, and where people would make me wait outside their office for hours on end. And I remember one office made me wait for the whole day. At the end of the day, I asked him, I want to meet the gentleman. I was told the gentleman is left. So that same thing I have brought into my office too. As in anybody who comes from outside the city, I attend, irrespective of the hour.
Yeah.
Usually my meeting hours for vendors is from 11 to 1. But anyone from outstation can come and meet me because he's come from such a long way. He's tired. He's come especially for me. He's probably hungry. He needs water. It's hot. So he needs to be attended. And that pays off. Those little things pay off.
Yeah. And how do you connect with your customers? If there's somebody who's watching this who maybe isn't in the jewelry trade, I mean, obviously I met you at a trade show, but how would anybody buy a piece of
now on Instagram or you can DM me there and we'll take you through. I have a studio in Mumbai.
Your studio is there, and can people come and see you in your studio?
Quaint, nice, minimalistic, warm place. I serve excellent coffee. So if you're here and it's hand whipped, and you love the coffee. People usually come only for coffee and not for jewelry.
Okay, I would come for a cocktail, Anil. Would you pour me a nice cocktail if I came to see you?
Sure. I can make, before we end, I can make one for you.
Yeah, please.
Make one for myself.
Yeah. And are you, I think you were going to make us a piece of a dessert as well, were you?
I have already made that. I'll just show it to you.
Yeah, please, let's have a look. I think now's the moment to have a toast.
Okay, so before that, on my travels, when I'm traveling to all these different places, I end up discovering a lot of other things, like all the different arts and how I adapt to those arts. Let's say, if you see this,
Yeah.
in one of my travels, I discovered a miniature painting artist, and I wanted a box for my pieces of jewelry. And
Yeah.
this is a hand-painted box with a peacock on top. And if you open it, you have you can fit in a ring, and it's been hand-painted all over. So my travels not only it shows on the ideas come over on jewelry, but everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. Do you want to show the other video of being on your travels?
The museum. Would you want to show the museum one? Yeah. So I visit a lot of museums, and there are two museums which is a must for those staying in Bombay and Jaipur. I call it the Peacock Trail. You should see this museum if you want to discover peacocks. Go there. These are the peacocks I have discovered. Go there and discover. See what are the peacocks you can discover there. So this is the Bhau Dajilad Museum in Mumbai and the Albert Museum in Jaipur.
Okay, great. Let me share this with everyone.
Helen, we can't see the video.
Beautiful. Sorry, I think we just missed the beginning where the two peacocks were at the gates, but sorry, I think you saw the rest.
This is one of the most beautiful museums you could ever visit in probably the world. It has been restored some 4 years ago, and it's a labor of love. It was built in 1855. Go and discover the peacocks here.
Yeah. So how else has your travel and India inspired you?
I'm sorry?
How else is the travel that you've done, and indeed your country, your home country of birth and India, how else do they influence you?
It's endless. You go every 100 meters, you discover something or the other. You go to a sari shop and it's a discovery. You go to an artifact shop, it's a discovery. Anywhere you go, it's a discovery. And you go to people's home and you see the inspiration everywhere. There's inspiration in wrought iron, there's inspiration in the architecture, there's inspiration in it's endless.
So what particular piece are you working on at the moment?
I am making not one, I'm making about 6 different collections. Some of them will yet take a year and a half to come. And I'm experimenting, I'm learning, so that experimenting is on. And the times that we are going to face are slightly dubious. I mean,
So what do you think when we evolve out of this period of lockdown, what do you think the world's going to be like that we will face?
Different.
How will it be different?
My world is I'm going to take it slow. I'm going to take it extremely slow. I'm going to go with the flow. And what I think that me especially, I can't say about other people, I will have to restart again from zero, from scratch, because what was good then is not going to hold good now. And I have to redo, and I don't mind starting from scratch again.
Yeah. And help us understand, what are you going to start from scratch on?
Jewelry, of course, but so there are two types, even in jewelry. So there's confusion. Should one go for Pret or should one for high end? And I think I can do both.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And my Pret collect, the one which is going to come now, it is again one of a kind diamonds, one of a kind stones, one of a kind. Yeah. Some of them could probably be museum pieces too.
Yeah. I think that's really interesting. I was speaking to you before, we were talking about at the moment, our world is so quiet. I mean, where I am now, we can hear the birds more than we ever can. I can hear an owl at night. And for me, nature has a greater importance, a greater significance. And I think, you know, the themes of nature that you embrace will be really powerful for people. Yeah. So what other symbols do you think we will look at in a post-corona?
In India, I think most of us will go slightly religious.
Yes.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of icons, there'll be a lot of gods and goddesses and trinkets, which would move.
Yeah.
And I have that collection also, and that collection, in fact, even before COVID started, it's 6 months into development. I'm developing special stones with gods and goddesses. I'm developing special bracelets with leather, with silicone, with thread, with silk, with small pendants, earrings, rings, everything.
This is really true, isn't it? We were seeing in the United Kingdom, for example, we were seeing more and more crosses and crucifixes, sign of Christianity, and St. Christopher's to keep you, a patron saint to keep you safe when you were traveling. And these were on the rise. And I think this very much goes back to why we wear jewelry. We wear it for status or for protection or symbolism, and you know.
All of us need the evil eye now.
Yeah, well, I think we all take a lot of comfort, don't we, from those sorts of pieces. So, as you know, it is on my dream to have. I will one day own an Il Bawani peacock ring, which will remind me of the happiness of being in India and meeting you and the wonderful pride it takes. But for me, that's all about, if we've learnt anything, we've learnt that the world is coming together, and we will heal together by working together. You've been in. Yeah, you've been in lockdown with your family, your daughters.
I have been harrowing them. I've been troubling them, irritating them, dancing with them, singing with them, and doing everything. I'm living the moment. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah. But they have very different talents as well, I believe. Is it music?
My older one plays. She's an aspiring singer. She's pursuing music, and the younger one is a basketball player.
Fantastic.
And they see me and they run away. Just because the moment I see them, I'm only hugging them and kissing them. And they say, Papa, no more. That's it, enough.
Oh, you've got to hug them as much as you possibly can. Yeah, we all need to hug each other when this is all over. That's the most important. But it's, again, do you think does the music influence you?
Yes, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot because of my daughters, especially the older one. She's very compassionate, very kind, very empathetic, and she writes her own lyrics. And I'm amazed at the 17-year-old kid. At 17 years old, I wasn't even 10% of what she is.
Oh, I'm sure you're being modest.
No, I'm not being modest. I'm still a kid. She's far mature than me. I would call myself immature.
Well, that's because you're a master. We won't go there. Yes.
She comes with a lot of maturity, and it's learning. There are so much things that I discover every day about my kids, and it's delightful. It's delightful.
Yeah. And in terms of what do you think when people own your jewelry? What do you think is their emotional response to your jewelry?
If anybody is on the chat now, they can probably answer.
Yeah, let's open it up. I think that's a really good point to talk about. So let's start it. We've got. Here we go.
If Laksh is on. Laksh is always, this is Laksh's favorite question. Laksh, I will not answer this question for you. He always asks, what is the difference between an inspiration and a copy? I don't think I'm going to answer. He wants to get me in a tight corner. I don't think, there's a very fine line between inspiration and copy.
Yeah. Is this where we talked about the evolution and the revolution? Is that the case when it's you play your part in the history? Yeah. And then
how you fill in that space, the circle remains the same. According to me, everything has been designed in some art form or the other. There are very few designers who are original, and there are. You know them too. I know them too. Very few and far between. So according to me, there are only 10 top designers. After 10, there's nothing from, and please don't take my word for it. I'm just, there's nothing from 11 to 50, then everything starts from 50 to 100, then from 100 to 600, there's nothing, then everything starts from 600.
But there's not many people who will originally take inspiration from doorstops, for example, or the beautiful toys that you've seen. So, you know, what I think is original is looking at inspiration from all sorts of other forms. We've got some technical questions. Somebody's asking, Nada's asking about the bracelet. Is it heavy?
It's not heavy.
And how do you make sure that it's not heavy?
As I told you, the bracelet is, there's lots of wire. It's not heavy. Even the reason why I've given plique-joint inside, it's all grid. It's all, if you notice, it's not solid metal. That is just to save on the weight. The pieces are not heavy. And everywhere you see there are stones embedded. So there's a lot of, And even the center is a huge stone. So it's probably, the stone weighs more than the whole piece of jewelry.
Nada, I've worn this piece and I can tell you it's not heavy. You feel it on your wrist, it feels important, but the fact that you've curved it so beautifully around the wrist means that it's very comfortable. And
it fits perfectly. It's oval, so once worn, it does not turn on the sides.
Exactly.
It doesn't turn over.
Nada, it was actually very difficult for me to take off, but I did in the end because I had to leave. But no, it wasn't too much. There's obviously designers here, and they're asking. They obviously want to learn from you. Do you offer internships, or could somebody come and meet you at your workshop?
They can probably, yes. I did start master classes. I had a few, I had a few, but that was before COVID, and then COVID happened.
But we live in a wonderful world of social media now. So, you know, what PR are you doing, or what are you putting out there on social media?
I have just started. I have two different parallel lives. I have a professional life and a personal life. So I have a personal social media where I'm very selective about the people who I let in. There are about 1,500 people still waiting to be accepted as my friend. But on my business platform, everybody's invited.
That's lovely. And they can see all these other pieces of inspiration.
And there also, I try to keep it as personal as possible. And all the data it comes from, it's not acquired from everywhere. It's what I have learned or my experience, I share that.
And it's been lovely because it's been feeling like we're all on a journey through this, isn't it? So it's nice to share those thoughts and just those positives. And, you know, sometimes I think there was a film of you just outside, and it was lovely that everyone else could feel the fresh air as well. So somebody's actually asking about the post-COVID era. Can you please give any inspiration for international market for post-COVID era? This is Anish who's asking.
Anish, I would like to ask you the same question. If you have any insight, please give me also. So let's get ourselves strong here. So it's a new world for me, as I've always been the back end. I've never come out in the forefront. So if there's anybody there wanting to take me out in the forefront, please be my stepping stone.
I think what we're all looking at is we will look at values so much more important, and authenticity and the ethics. So I think being true to who you are, I love the values you said about kindness through the supply chain and understanding people. And I think this is the way we'll heal together through this.
And this moment, just enjoy the moment. Just you don't have to learn anything. You don't owe anything to anybody. Just be happy, spread that happiness. I know it's difficult. You might be saying, how is Anil saying it? But every individual is different. The best that you can do, please do it.
And then Joanna Park-Tonks asks, what is the relationship between beauty, jewelry and divinity in your opinion? So I guess that's the sacred and the jewelry pieces as well. What is the relationship between jewelry and religion? It's a big question.
I don't think I can answer that. I don't think I have an answer for that. I don't think I have an answer. I've not been a religious person. I believe in a supreme power. I believe in one God. Everybody's God is good God, is my God. But
Yeah. But I think that you could answer this one from Nidhi. How to overcome the setting problems with titanium? I wouldn't know that one. How would you do that?
I have to use titanium as a metal, which I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Titanium is not my metal. So I'm learning now. The process is starting. I'm trying bronze, brass, copper, patina. I'm trying aluminum. I'm trying titanium. I'm trying wood. I have more than 100 and I've acquired 100 and different types of wood from all over the world. And I'm learning the grain. I'm learning how soft it is, how hard it is. There are certain woods which are so hard on which I can't even use my diamond tools. They're so difficult to, the wood is so hard. I'm learning. So again, those are the baby steps I've started taking. And I have all the time in the world. I'm not in a hurry. As I said, I'm starting. I want to start with scratch. The only thing that I have right now with me is my experience.
Yeah.
And everything will fall. So I'll give you a small example. I'm not from the trade, as I told you. 2004, I exhibited in the India International Jewelry Show. And that collection, I made about 200 or 300 pieces. That collection took me about 6 to 8 months to make. I had no money. How I got the gold and the diamonds, I can tell you that whole story, the background. I had to borrow money. There were some well-wishers. They supported me. So when I saw that jewelry, when I went to the show, I had tears in my eyes. I did not know anyone. I did not know the trade. Nobody knew me. And I was heavily invested. And I made a collection. I went to the show. The first day of the show, a gentleman walks in. I know the gentleman. And this is very important. You should know your trade. The moment a person walks in, you should know who he is. So I knew the gentleman. I told him how I work. And he said, okay, I want to write my order down. And I've used this story as an inspirational story in every talk of mine. So the message being, don't lose heart.
Yes.
So that gentleman said, okay, please help me. I'll write my orders down. I assigned him a man. He wrote his order. He wrote some 10, 12 or 15 pieces he made me write down. I was carrying 300.
Yeah.
And he said, so I said, thank you, sir, for patronizing me. We will get back to you. Your goods will be delivered after polishing and cleaning and QC, and they will be delivered to you after 15 days. So he said, no, son. He held my hand. He said, no, son, I don't want these 15 pieces. The meaning being, he took everything.
Everything apart from those 15.
Everything. And 2 days before, I was in tears. So all that I had done, when I look back, I had worked hard on the product.
Yes.
And even when somebody asked, how do you relate religion to design? Yeah. So have faith.
Have faith. That's wonderful, isn't it? And I think have faith in yourself and have faith that people out there that are wanting to learn. There's so many people that will share.
Faith is not easy.
No, but I think there's many people that will help you out there. There's many people that will share their expertise and share their time. And like you say, I think it's important for young people to believe in themselves. But like you say, to listen and learn, but know that we're all there to support. Yeah, to support.
And if you go by religion again, if you take the Bhagavad Gita, the first word of Bhagavad Gita is Dharm Kshetre, Kurukshetre, and you have that whole stanza. And the last word is Mama. Dharm means my duty. Right. And Mama means me.
Yes.
So my duty, keep doing your duty, everything will fall in place.
Yeah. But you're going on this journey with wood. So how did you get this fascination? What do you want to look at wood at the moment?
So if you notice at the international how sensibilities right now, design sensibilities, everybody is trying something new. Everyone. If you look at the top 50 designers or artisans or jewelers, they are experimenting and they are getting a phenomenal response. And they're using, so something like yin and yang. They use a absolutely base material, the most inexpensive material, and juxtapose it with something with something expensive or with something colorful.
Yeah. And so we saw this over 100 years ago with the arts and crafts movement, when it was finding beauty in objects, no matter what their inherent value is. And you see that, don't you, with all those pieces that are around you, you see that beauty. And absolutely, it doesn't have to be about the money that it cost us. It's about the inspiration and the piece that it is. So that's really good. Yeah.
And beauty lies in the art of the beholder.
Absolutely. So, yeah. Pragya here is asking, don't you feel insecure that your jewelry can be copied? You know that you're successful when you're being copied.
Initially, I used to be for a good 20 years, I used to be apprehensive. But now, no, not anymore.
Yeah.
No. People still copy, and it can be quite irritating.
Yes.
But if you take the big houses, if they can't stop, I'm a nobody. I mean, just keep doing, keep doing. Yeah.
Maybe
so
just take it as a compliment.
Yeah. Be 6 months ahead. No, it's not a compliment anymore. Initially, it used to be. It's not a compliment. Yeah. So be 6 months ahead. Be a year ahead before people can even think you deliver.
So be ahead of the curve all of the time.
And let people copy. If people have copied you, go one step ahead. Go another step ahead.
Yeah, keep ahead of them all of the time. Yeah. Needy asks, in the beginning of your jewelry journey, how did you meet your target audience when you were not known and famous? Your advice for budding designers.
So this is again, which I say every time, the best platform for India. The best platform is the India International Jewelry Show.
Yes.
Yeah, there are about 35,000 to 40,000 visitors from all over India and the international market. And it is thriving, it is buzzing. You get to meet people. So you don't have to, and India is big. You can't travel from one, and your travel expenses will kill you. Yeah. So those 5 days are extreme. So if you get in, and you should take an average of 4 years, or maybe 3 years. Yeah, I was lucky in my first year. Yeah, and I've been lucky ever since.
Yeah. It's difficult at the moment, and it may be that international travel isn't feasible for a while, but I think therefore you've got social media, haven't you? And everybody can put their jewelry. Instagram is a wonderful medium to put your jewelry on, Facebook, and there's lots of communities which come together to share. So who would have thought the amount of webinars that we're doing, and this has become the new way of communicating to everybody. And here I am talking to you from my home in the UK to yours in India.
I wouldn't have thought it up.
Yeah, so the world is actually given us lots of opportunities at the moment. So Nada asked, do you do jewelry in gold only with no stones?
Yes, I do. No, with stones. I do only with stones. It has to have diamonds or And I'm also, when we're talking of stones, I've constrained myself because India is a very peculiar and typical market. I've constrained myself. Not I, the market has constrained me to 4 stones. That's ruby, emerald, diamond, tanzanite, and pearl. These are the 4 basic Indian colors, and you can't go wrong with them. Yeah. But if you use any other color, it's a challenge. If you use an amethyst or a citrine or a peridot or the other quartz colors or the opaque onyx colors.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite of all the gemstones? Could you pick one?
Emerald, any day.
Really?
Yeah. I have a collection of emeralds, high-end emeralds, which I will start. I wish I could show you. Very unusual stones, very, very unusual stones. I have some Colombian, I have some Zambian pairs and single pieces, big pieces, pieces like a bullet, pieces like, you have to see those pieces, that collection. So I'm wondering on what pedestal to put that stone on. Yes. Should I put that stone on a cement? Can you imagine a green stone with a gray stone? A fairy green. A green and a gray.
Juxtaposition would really highlight the emerald beauty even more. So and I love this open-mindedness approach. It's fantastic.
And a lot of times people have asked me, do you sell everything? Do you manage to sell everything? No, I don't manage to sell everything. But till I don't design, like even the people who patronize me, they are apprehensive of stocking what I have. But those are the pieces which I sell the first. If let's say a customer walks in, it's easy. So people are not willing to experiment.
Yes.
They want to walk within safe confines.
Yeah. Yes.
So I have experimented, and that's why I have been different. So if you don't experiment, it's not thinking out of the box, any box, round box, square box, you have to experiment.
But then Prabhadeen there is asking a very pertinent question. Is there a designer, or which designer is your inspiration?
Quite a few.
Yeah, can you name them at all?
Quite a few. And some of the designers. So this tops the list. Mr. Jerry Arthur Rosenthal, Jar, who's known as Jar.
Oh, Jar, yes.
Jerry Arthur Rosenthal. Did I spell his name right?
Yeah, I've met him, see why.
If anybody wants to be inspired, take his volume 1 of the book that he was published for the Somerset House collection. He's written a 1-page note and everybody, this is a must. This is a must. Everybody has to read that page.
Right.
That page is your hair. I must have read that about 1,000 times. Whenever I'm not in a good mood, I read that. Whenever I'm depressed, I read that. Whenever I want to seek inspiration, I read that. And the last words he's used, he says, it has taken me a lifetime to write this one page. So can you imagine, each word he would have weighed each and every word before writing it.
Yeah.
It is mind-blowing. If you read, and again, I'm a big fan, again, you can see.
Yeah.
If you read the first stanza, just the first paragraph, is Mozart. It's Beethoven. It is.
Oh yes, yeah. Again, the inspiration. Yeah. I think we'll all now read. We'll all go and read that. And where can people find your masterclasses online?
I'm there on. It's there on Instagram. On my
Instagram. Great. Yeah. We've only got a few more minutes left. We could just talk for hours and hours. It's just so wonderful.
I wanted to share a lot of things with you. Yeah.
I know. Is there anything else you would like to say to everybody, knowing that we've got just a few minutes left? Is there anything else that's important for you?
I'd like to share what I made today. This is the national fruit, the most favorite fruit of us Indians. This is Alfonso mango. I've taken an Alfonso mango. I've put it in a mango shell, and there's rabdi inside. This is an Indian dessert which is made out of milk, and I put oranges in it, and I've topped it with mangoes, and here you are. I'm taking the first bite. Come down to my house.
My mouth is watering at the moment.
Yeah.
That looks so cool and delicious.
And you can't go wrong with Alfonso.
No, absolutely incredible. And I will be looking. You put some recipes online as well, don't you?
I do.
My palate has changed since coming back from India, so I'm taking inspiration from these recipes, and we'll be making them. This is a lovely sentiment here. Why is Anil Bharwani the most popular creative jewelry designer in India? Well, I think you can answer that after this today.
I'm sorry. Why
are you the most popular?
You've made me popular.
We're just the vehicle, the vessel for you to show your brilliance. People are thinking in terms of these questions. They are asking about the future of jewelry in a post-corona environment. What do you think the price point of items will be going forward?
As I said, there'll be two. Okay, so a lot of this is my personal belief. I'm at times skeptical, but first of all, let Corona end, let it open.
Yes.
So once we open, there'll be other challenges. There'll be challenges of retention, there'll be challenges of staff, there'll be challenges of salaries, there'll be challenges for workforce, like the Indian workforce leaving Mumbai or Rajkot or Surat and going to their hometowns. Would they come back within 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months? How do we get them back?
Yeah,
that is good. So the challenge at the moment will not be to sell jewelry.
No.
The challenge would be, how do we start again?
Yeah.
Those who are already established. Let's say if I have a stock, I'm sitting on a stock, but if I want to make something new, I will be challenged. Let's say in a piece of jewelry, this piece of jewelry has gone through 7 different hands. It has gone through a mold maker. It has gone through a person who's cut the stone, polished the stone, made the finding, who's done the hinges, who's polished, who's buffed, who's done the plating, who's done the enameling, who's done the thread polishing, who's set the stones, who's done the hard enamel. This is not made in one workshop. This has gone through many hands. Yeah. Am I going to find those hands?
Yeah.
Am I going to find those hands?
Yeah. So I think we will to come out of this slowly. It will come out gently. And no, it's not going to be easy.
So just go with the flow. We have to go with the flow. Do your best. Keep your ears open, eyes open. That is what is going to take us through.
Well, I think everyone's asking the name of the inspiration again. It's Jar, Jar.
Jar.
Yeah. But I think really we'll have to wrap up soon. But I think for me and Neil, you have your eyes open, you have your ears open, you have your heart open, and I think that's what makes you be such an inspiration, and the stories that you can tell is because you are so authentic, and it has been a real honor to chat to you. I'm sorry it just has been for 1 hour, but I'm sure we can talk again. And
I have many stories. I have a lot of stories.
Absolutely. So, but if there's any of these particular questions, we'll make sure that they're all answered and everybody has got the responses that they need. But I hope for you all, this has been as inspirational for you as it has been for me. So we will end there and just stay safe, everybody, stay well, and we'll see you all again very soon. Anil, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Love you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.